Good morning, everybody. My name is Mr. Binty. I am a first grade teacher at Kays Elementary School, and I'm here today to get us started on our summer school lessons. This lesson is for students who will be entering first grade in the fall, so students who were in kindergarten and are trying to get ready for first grade. And we're going to have a lot of fun with these English and language arts lessons that I have for you. I know you probably have a lot of feelings about getting ready for summer school and missing the end of school, so I've got a poster today and I'm going to show you some of my feelings. And this might be something you want to do at home, is draw how you're feeling about summer school and getting some extra lessons in that are going to help you get ready. So the first one, it says, this is how I look when I am happy. And so I want to make sure I'm feeling pretty happy. And I'm not a great drawer, but I drew a big smiley face on it. I'm happy I'm going to get to keep learning. I'm happy to be able to do some more reading. I like to read, so this is going to be a great lesson. But another way I might be feeling, so this is how I look when I feel sad. And I am a little sad that I missed the end of my school year. You know, I kind of miss my friends. And sometimes when we're sad, we cry, so I drew some tears on there. You might have missed the end of your school year or your teachers. You might be sad you're having to do a little extra work. That might be how you're feeling today. The next one said, this is how I feel when I feel angry. I'm not angry right now, but sometimes I am. You know, I've been stuck at home and I wanted to get out, or maybe you've been upset that your brother or sister has been bothering you. Sometimes we feel angry. The next one, that's how I feel today, is excited. When I feel excited, my eyes get big. I have a big smile on my face. I have a really big smile. I'm excited today to get some summer school lessons in for you. Are you feeling excited today? Look how big that smile is. The next one says silly. And we can have a lot of fun while we're learning. These lessons are going to be really fun that we do with you on here. So I'm going to draw some silly faces, some happy. Maybe I'm going to write ha, 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 because she's laughing. We're going to have a lot of fun today and read some fun stories that you've read before. And the last one is surprised. Well, no surprises here. I know that you're going to have a lot of fun with these lessons. It's not going to trick you, nothing too hard for you to work on, just some things that are going to get you ready for first grade. When I feel surprised, I kind of make a crazy face, like, that's kind of hard to draw. But my eyes are wide open. Another smile. How are you feeling today? I think you're going to love these summer school lessons. The next activity I'm going to play, you're going to need your fingers. We're going to use our fingers for another lesson today, so this will be super fun. Hold up 5 fingers and put one finger down if you've done something I've said. Put a finger down if you've ever slept in a tent. Put a finger down if you've ever visited another state. Put a finger down if you've ever eaten a hot fudge sundae. Put a finger down if you've ever stayed up really late. Put a finger down if you've ever read a great book. Put a finger down if you've ever went to a movie. Put a finger down if you've ever been to the zoo. Put a finger down if you've ever been to a parade. Put a finger down if you've ever planted a garden. Put a finger down if you've ever gone for a walk around your neighborhood. Put a finger down if you've ever met a new friend. Put a finger down if you've ever read a lot of books. Put a finger down if you've ever been to a fair or a carnival. Put a finger down if you've ever played outside with a hose or in a pool. Put a finger down if you've ever written a story or a poem. Put a finger down if you've ever been to visit a friend or family member. Are your fingers down? Those are a lot of fun things I found that we can do in the summertime. This summer's a little bit different with some of the things we can do, but there's lots of fun things you can do this summer. I hope you're going to have a great summer with me. Before I get you started, I want to show you my glove. I think I might put on my right one. In today's lesson, we're going to be talking about how to retell a story. And that's a kindergarten standard, but you're also going to see it in first grade. And when you retell a story, there's 5 things you need to do. So it's perfect because you have 5 fingers. You're going to retell the character, the setting, and then the beginning, middle, and end. It's easy. Watch me again. You tell me the characters and the setting, the beginning, middle, and end of the story. And if you can do all those 5 things, your fingers help you real fast, you'll be able to retell any story you've ever heard.
You should read this book next, Moby. It's called Superbot and the Art Thief. I love this book because the plot is really exciting. The plot is all the events that happen in a story. Events in a story occur in a certain order. What is sequence? Sequence is the order in which things happen or are described. Uh-oh. Somebody is up to no good. To hatch her latest plan, the evil Dr. M breaks into the art museum. Then, she steals the most famous painting in the world. Quick, turn on the signal. Meanwhile, a mild-mannered robot named Mobius D. Bot quietly eats his lunch. When he sees the signal, he springs into action. This looks like a job for Superbot. Superbot chases the evil Dr. M through the city. Next, he chases her through the park. After that, he chases her through the zoo. The evil Dr. M gets away, but Superbot doesn't give up easily. The evil Dr. M passes by a store. She just can't resist going inside. But it's a trap. Superbot saves the day. Finally, the painting is back in its rightful place. Transitions can tell you about the sequence of events. What are transitions? A transition is a word that connects ideas together. First, second, third, then, next, and finally are all transitions that describe the order of events. Before, after, later, while, and meanwhile are also transitions that tell about time. Sometimes transitions are called signal words because they're a signal for you to pay attention. As you read, look for transitions that tell you about the sequence. The transitions in this recipe tell you what to do in a certain order. First, cut the carrots. Second, cut the onions. Third, cut the celery. Before you fry them, add salt and pepper. That means the fourth step is to add salt and pepper. After that, you fry the vegetables. How can you take notes on the sequence of events? It's helpful to take notes on the sequence in a graphic organizer. I'm going to use these notes later to help me write a book report. In nonfiction writing, there might be dates and times that tell you when important events happened. You can make a timeline to help keep track of them. Informational writing might explain something or teach how to do something. You can make a flow chart to help you keep track of all the steps. It's a chart that shows what to do first, second, third, and so on. Sometimes the order of events isn't so clear. How can you make inferences about the sequence of events? When you infer, you use what you know or see to come up with an idea. As you read, use clues to make inferences about the sequence. After the evil Dr. M escaped, Superbot came up with a plan. Later, the evil Dr. M fell into his trap. I think Superbot's trap probably took a while to set up. So, I can infer that the second part of the story happens later. When I read, I picture what happens in my mind. It helps me understand and think about what I'm reading. I wonder what will happen in the next book. What do you think, Moby? Whoa! Moby?
I hope you're going to be like Annie and remember every detail when you read a book. It's going to be really important to put those details in order when you retell a story. I've still got my glove on because remember when you retell a story, you've got to make sure you remember the characters and the setting, and then you go in order from the beginning to the middle to the end of a story. If you have a glove, you can wear it at home too while you do this, then you have to take it off when we get to writing. Let me show you my paper. It looks like this, and you're going to get a copy that looks a lot like this. But I'll show you how you can make one on just blank paper too. It says the characters are the people or animals who act out in a story. And I put a picture of the characters from Goldilocks. We're going to talk about that story in just a second. The setting is the time and the place. So think about what time the story happens. Is it daytime or nighttime? Think about where it happens. Is it in a city or in a jungle? Is it in a big city? Is it inside a house? Is it in a garden? That's what the setting is. And then, beginning, middle, end. And sometimes if I'm trying to move fast, I just write B for beginning, M for middle, and E for end. And you're going to have a blank one of these that you're going to fill out later. But right now, you can just watch me. Oh, here's the blank one. I'm going to show you how you can make your own blank one, and then how you can fill one out too. Let me try my new board. Now I've got a whiteboard. This looks just like a white paper you might have, maybe from the back of your packet, maybe some extra paper you have around. And so I'm going to take my finger and get my pen ready, and I'm going to put up at the top. Oh, that's too big. Perfect. Let's try that one. Oh, that's perfect. Remember I said the first thing is the setting. Then the next part are your characters. And then you have your beginning. We'll just put B. And your middle. And your end. And just like that, you've got a chart to help you retell a story. Because good first graders, and good kindergartners too, are able to retell a story with their voice, but they also need to be able to use a paper to do it. So the first one I'm going to show you, we're going to draw it. Then I'm going to show you how to retell a story by writing it. And then you're going to get a chance to do it yourself. So let's start. I'm going to use my black pen. Let's think about one of my favorite stories that I know you've heard before, Goldilocks and the Three Bears. What's the setting of that story? Where does it take place? Do you have an answer? It takes place in the woods, you're right. Oh, remember I said this time I'm going to draw? Let me erase it. I was ready to write. This time I'm going to show you how you can draw. Because sometimes when we're going into first grade, we don't know how to spell everything yet. We don't know how to write long sentences. So if you're someone who needs to draw, that's okay. So let me draw my trees. I'm trying to move fast for you, so I'm not going to add any color today. I'm going to draw my little house where Goldilocks lives. It's got a little door, more trees. How can I show that when she went to this house, the setting was the daytime, right? Because she didn't visit that house at night. She went during the day. How can I show that with my drawing? A sun. You could do this too if you want with me on blank paper. Now, who are the characters? Characters could be people or animals in a story. So the first character is Goldilocks. I'm just going to draw her face. And if I had time to add my crayons, I'd have beautiful blonde hair for her, or maybe whatever color you think her hair would be. Usually it's gold, right? There's Goldilocks. And how many bears were there? There were 3, and they're all pretty important, so I'm going to include all of them. There's the Papa Bear. Kind of looks like a pig, doesn't he? That's okay. And the Mama Bear. She's a little bit smaller. And who's left? The Baby Bear. He's the littlest one. Now, what happened at the beginning of that story? Do you remember that? How can I draw that? What's the first thing she does? She goes into their house. And what does she do first? Do you remember? She eats some porridge. So I drew her house, and then I drew a big bowl with a big spoon in it. There were more bowls? You're right. Let's draw the medium-sized bowl and the little bowl. And she ate it all up, didn't she? What did Goldilocks do next? She sat on the chairs, you're right. So in the middle of my story, I'm gonna use a connecting word like then she sat on some chairs. How can I draw a big chair? Ooh, that's a big chair. Then she sat on a medium-sized chair. And then finally she sat on Baby Bear's little stool and she broke it. And what happened at the end, do you remember? I might use this word last or finally. At the end, she fell asleep. She tried out all their beds. Here's the pillows. She's gonna fall asleep. I hope you're a better drawer than me. She's asleep. And what happens? The bears come home, they find Goldilocks, and she has to jump out the window. I know you're a better drawer than me, but we can do a great job retelling a story with drawing. I think this is pretty good. You could try this too on some blank paper, like I said. Ready? I'm gonna see if I can get a new screen, and we're gonna start all over. We're gonna go characters first this time. And then what's the second part? What's the second thing? Your characters, setting, and then what's the B gonna stand for? Beginning. The M stands for middle. The E stands for end. Now we're going to be writing. So if you're getting ready for first grade, I know you know how to spell some words. I know you know how to sound words out, maybe stretch them out down your arm. Maybe you have someone at home that can help you a little bit. I know you can do this on your own though. If you want to be really ready for first grade, sometimes we'll retell a story with pictures, but we're also getting into words. So let's start with a new story you've heard before. Have you ever heard the story of the three little pigs? I kind of gave away the characters, didn't I? Who are the characters? Three little pigs. Let's sound out pigs. P-I-G. But there's more than one, so I'll add that S at the end. Are there any more characters? Are there any people in this story? There's one more character, the wolf. And if you really like to write, you might write the big, bad wolf. I kind of ran out of room, so I just wrote wolf. What's the setting of this story? Is it daytime or nighttime? Day. I could write time. Time. Add that silent E at the end. And where are they? They're at the pigs' houses. They must be in a city, right? If they all have houses. Maybe their houses are spread out in the country. I don't really know. So I wrote pigs' houses. Let me put a plus there. Daytime plus pigs' houses. Now what happens at the beginning of that story? Do you remember? I do. The wolf, what does he do? He blows down the first house, you're right. Blows down oh no, I'm out of room. I am going to add a picture. We can retell a story with pictures and with words. The wolf blows down the house. That's how it starts, right? The first house wasn't very strong. It was just made of sticks. What happens in the middle? Actually, you know what? I'm going to turn this the into then. That's a good connecting word. Then the wolf blows down. He blows down another house, doesn't he? Isn't that crazy? It's okay if we write on the back or make a second line. He blew down another house. This house wasn't strong either. By this point, both the pigs have escaped. What happens at the end? I'm going to use a nice connecting word like last. Last. The wolf. Does he blow down the final house? No, but he tries to. You're right. The wolf tries. That's a big word. Did you spell that one right? Last, the wolf tries to blow down the third house. Is that it? He tries and he gives up. He says, not by the hair on my chinny chin chin. He doesn't walk away. I want to get the whole story. So the ending is a little bit longer today. Last, the wolf tries to blow down the third house, and what happens? Do you remember? He goes down the chimney. You're right. He falls down the, help me sound out, chimney. C-H-M-ney. There's a Y at the end too. And in some stories, there's a big pot of water, and it's bubbling up, and there's a fire underneath it. Some logs. And they say he gets caught in that pot of water. Isn't that crazy? Let's check out my story. So we know the characters are 3 little pigs and the wolf. We know that the setting is the daytime at the pigs' houses. And let's read the story. It says at the beginning, the wolf blows down the house. Then the wolf blows down another house. That sounds pretty right, doesn't it? We can't include everything in the story. We don't want to retell the whole story. We're just summarizing it. Last, the wolf tries to blow down the third house. He falls down the chimney. And I did add a picture. If you have time, you could add a whole nother picture with some of the pigs or the wolf. This would be a great story you could retell on a blank piece of paper too. I'm going to clear this one off for you. Now I'm going to give you a task. I'm going to sit down and read my favorite big book. It's called Along Came Toto. And your job is going to be to fill this out on your own. You're going to have to put the characters, the setting, the beginning, middle, and end. You know you could do it with pictures, right? Or you could use it with words. You know, this is a great thing you could do with almost any story. Maybe you have a bedtime story, or maybe your mom likes to find stories online that you can read, or maybe you like to find stories with your dad or a sibling, and you've got some books at your house, or when the library opens, you can go there. You could do this activity with any book, and this is a great activity to get you ready for first grade. You're going to love this book. Pay close attention so you remember all the characters, the setting, the beginning, middle, and end. And it's big, so it's kind of hard for me to hold, but you're going to love it. It's called Along Came Toto. This is Percy, who lived very happily in a house that was all his own. Then one day, a brown box came, and out of the box came Toto. Percy went to play with his toys. Along came Toto. Percy went to eat his dinner. Along came Toto. Percy went out in the garden. You guessed it, along came Toto. Whatever Percy did and wherever Percy went, along came Toto. Percy got grumpy and growly and grouchy. He grumped upstairs to bed. Along came Toto. Go away, roared Percy. You fiddly flea, you measly monkey. You teeny tiny, teeny weeny, tiddly widdly tiger. I just want to sleep on my own. Percy slept, but he had horrible dreams. What's he dreaming about? Fleas, monkeys. Look at the next page. A tiger. Grrr, roared a terrible, great big tiger. I'll eat you up for dinner. Percy woke up. Purr. Something small and soft and warm was purring in Percy's basket. Oh, Toto, Percy said. I'm glad you came along. And that's the end. Do you remember the characters in that story? I can think of 2. Were there any people in that story, or was it all animals? I can think of the setting of that story. It was a dog and a cat and their pets, so they must live in a... You can draw it or write it. And then do you remember the beginning, the middle, and the end? I like that story because it had a really happy ending. You should have this paper, and if not, I showed you how to make it on your own. Write the characters in the setting, or draw it. If you want to get ready for first grade, you can write it too. And then make sure you get the beginning, the middle, and the end. That's going to make sure you can retell a story, get all the important details in it. This is a great kindergarten standard, and it's going to help you get ready for first grade. I can't wait for you to show your family or your teacher at school how you fill out this paper and how you can retell a story all on your own. Have a good day.